What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode of Moonshot Monday. Today I'm going to pitch that Amazon should acquire Rivian outright and make a huge push into the electric and autonomous vehicle space. I think there's a ton of clues that are leading up to this, making this extremely obvious and a compelling case for both Rivian and Amazon. Amazon has already invested in Rivian, so there's a ton to put together. Really excited about this episode. Shout out to Rivian, who gave me this swag and water bottle after I visited and toured their HQ in Detroit last week with Sean Mitchell. Really cool stuff. I'm very impressed with Rivian. One of the most exciting EV startups on the planet right now, other than Tesla. I think has a very exciting future. So before we get into this Moonshot Monday of why I believe Amazon should acquire them, let's do a little brief background on Rivian, the company. So Rivian really made a splash on November 25th, 2018 at this event in LA, which I attended in person, and they unveiled their pickup truck, their flagship vehicle. And although this, only came onto the scene 6 or 8 months ago, this was almost a decade in the making. Rivian is founded by RJ Scaringe, who is an entrepreneur, very young guy, looks like Clark Kent, Superman, basically came out of MIT as an engineer and started developing his own vehicle company. So he's still in his mid-30s, but basically after a decade in stealth mode, Rivian on 6 months ago came out and was like, here's what we've been working on. It's a 400-mile, incredibly specced out, all-electric luxury pickup truck, creating this new niche of vehicles called electric adventure vehicles. Basically, cars that allow you to go out, they're explore, they're rugged, they have amazing performance, they're all electric, built with this idea of going to explore and experience the outdoors. Not just a truck though, Rivian is much more than that. They also unveiled an SUV, so you have the R1T truck, and then you have the R1S SUV. These are going to be their first two premium vehicles, starting about $70,000, going up to, $100 grand, $150 grand or so, I'm guessing, fully specced out. They haven't officially released the prices. But, this caught huge buzz the second it was released because the vehicles looked really good. I mean, the company was incredibly serious. They look very well funded with a concrete strategy of going to market. So they unveiled these vehicles, launched reservations, much like Tesla does, and said they would be beginning production and deliveries of these cars in late 2020. And so after making a splash on the scene with the electric vehicles, seeming to get a ton of really good hype and sort of be the EV company of the moment other than Tesla, Rivian rode that, tidal wave of momentum to start to get some huge investments from really big auto industry players. And so, but first of all, let's take a step back. Shortly after attending that event, I made a Moonshot Monday on December 3rd saying Ford needs to buy Rivian. If we're going electric, you're going to need to start from scratch to build a company that's developing their own electric skateboard platform. That's exactly what Rivian's doing. And they're going right for the truck and SUV market, which is Ford's sweet spot. Ford sells almost 1 million of the F-Series pickup trucks a year. It's their entire business, basically, in terms of revenue and profits. And that is exactly what Rivian is competing with. The highest margin customers Ford has. They're electrifying that pickup segment, which I think is going to be, a decade transition in the making, going away from Ford's, ICE pickup lineup that's making them all this money. So in short, you have Rivian, which is going to slowly make Ford irrelevant over the next decade. And so they're developing this incredible electric skateboard architecture. They have a really good brand. So I was like, Ford should buy Rivian and, secure their EV future. Then on February 19th, we get news that Ford didn't invest in Rivian, but Amazon actually led a $700 million investment round. I mean, this is huge money we're talking about. This is a company that hasn't delivered a single car, has no revenue, is already getting $700 million investment round. My guess is valuing the company around $4 or $5 billion. Amazon was the leader of this investment round. It's not clear if they took the whole round, but let's assume that Amazon was the majority of this funding. I mean, this is a very unique move for Amazon, because Amazon typically, the biggest acquisition they had made prior to Whole Foods was Twitch, the streaming service they bought for about $1 billion. Then they bought Whole Foods for about $14 billion, which was another Moonshot Monday, but that's another story. But the point is, Amazon very rarely makes these type of, investments without the intention of fully buying out the company later in the long term. So that is my guess. It's what's happening here. Amazon has taken a huge chunk of Rivian with the plan of watching it scale and acquiring it outright in a year or two. They're pretty vague about what this partnership, or if there would be any partnership with Amazon other than the investment, but they do say that delivering on their vision requires the right partners, and we are excited to have Amazon with us on our journey to create products, technology, and experiences that reset expectations of what is possible. So there you go. So February, Amazon plows in a ton of money into Rivian. At the same time, rumors start heating up that GM is trying to secure a huge investment into Rivian as well, potentially partner with them to use their skateboard platform. Well, that goes quiet for about a month or two. And then on April 24th, 2019, Rivian announces a $500 million investment from Ford. So literally 2 months after raising $700 million from Amazon, Rivian raises another $500 million from Ford. And what's so interesting about this is Ford is actually, they announced that it's not just an investment, but a partnership, and that Ford wants to build an all-new battery electric vehicle using Rivian's flexible skateboard platform. So this is so interesting because you have Ford on one hand who is still investing in the internal combustion engine. Their best-selling product is, the gas pickup truck, but they've also announced a zero-emission fully electric or at least hybrid pickup truck and a fully electric Mustang that are coming soon. So you have Ford launching its own EV pickup and doing its ICE pickup, and now they're investing in Rivian, saying they're developing a new vehicle on Rivian's electric skateboard platform. So not only is Ford giving them money, not only is Ford Joe Heinrich, one of their executives, joining Rivian's board of directors, but they're developing a vehicle with Rivian's technology. And so, back to Rivian and my tour with the company, I think this is, it's hard to put my finger exactly on what makes Rivian special, but there's something about them that makes me take them so much more seriously than every other EV upstart we've seen. Lucid Motors, Faraday Future, they're all great, but they're just concept cars that just don't seem real. Rivian seems real. I mean, the first part of it is you have 10 years of history and trying to build these vehicles and bring them to market. That's a lot of time and money invested in this process. The second thing about Rivian is a really, really strong management team that's been committed to this for a long time. RJ Scringe, I already mentioned, the CEO and founder, but the bench goes deeper than that. They have executives from Jeep and McLaren designing their vehicles. Their headquarters that I was just at is actually in Plymouth, right next to Detroit, the heart of the old auto industry. So they're sort of bringing a renaissance to Detroit. They've also acquired a huge factory in Normal, Illinois that was a shuttered automotive plant, but now they are reviving to do their own vehicle production. So they've already acquired a huge factory. I mean, this Rivian company just seems like the real deal. The other thing that I've been really impressed with is their brand, their ability to really create a brand from scratch, this electric adventure vehicle niche, which doesn't feel like a copy of Tesla. It feels very authentic, feels like they know their customer. It feels like they're really solving a problem and trying to build this relationship with consumers that I think could really last. So, strong management team, really well funded, great brand, great product roadmap. So I think this makes Rivian a really, really exciting company. But what's even more, what I think the secret sauce is that's getting all these huge players involved is the skateboard technology. Rivian's battery electric skateboard, the platform that they're building their pickup truck and their SUV on, is where all the magic happens. This is, why I believe Tesla is such a huge advantage in the electric vehicle space, because they have the most efficient and cheapest and highest quality electric skateboard, essentially battery and powertrain combination. And so that technology, even though you might be saying like, okay, so Rivian is probably valued at 5 or 10 billion now with Ford's latest investment. How are you valued at 10 billion even though you've never even sold a car to the public, And even if you do crush it with the SUV and the pickup truck, what are those going to sell? 10 or 20,000, 30,000 units a year? I mean, I don't even think those two products could justify the valuation Rivian already has. So what's happening here? Why are Ford and Amazon pouring so much money into them at this level? Because I think there is a huge opportunity to build on top of that electric skateboard. So that's what I think Amazon is doing. And now I'm going to go a little bit off the books and give you my predictions of what's actually happening at Rivian. So when I toured it there, they didn't show me anything they weren't supposed to show me at Rivian. By the way, I'm totally not sponsored by Rivian, or they don't want me to make this episode probably, but I'm just a fan of the company. They were nice enough to give me a tour and just show me around, but I have no affiliation with them other than they sent me this t-shirt and water bottle. But anyway, the point is, I think Rivian, they showed us these two cars they're building, but they had this sort of back area in their design studio where they were working on new vehicle types, like things beyond the trucks. This is where I think the money is. This is why I think Amazon and Ford are investing in Rivian, because there's some sort of product on this electric skateboard platform, whether it's like an autonomous delivery pod or, a sedan. I don't know. There's just a million different ways this could go. But the point is I think, Amazon and Ford are investing in Rivian to be able to build on top of that skateboard and bring their own things to market. I mean, Amazon is suffering a huge logistical bottleneck with last mile delivery. I mean, the amount of trucks they're renting, they're even renting out and leasing, planes to ship cargo and your packages around the world. So Amazon, is a rumor they're trying to launch Ship with Amazon and vertically integrate even further into the shipping space. And so, I look at Amazon as this huge company that's vertically integrating into logistics and shipping that hasn't really made a move in the hardware space. They don't own the vehicles, the trucks that are doing the delivery, but it seems like they're vertically integrating and want to push in that direction. So I think that is why they invested in Rivian, or a huge part of it, because Amazon wants to develop either an electric, semi truck or electric cargo truck or cargo van or last mile delivery, vehicle on top of Rivian's skateboard technology. That's why they made the investment. The other reason I think Amazon made the investment and should acquire Rivian as a whole is because the brand that Rivian's built is something that could finally rival Tesla. I mean, this sounds kind of dumb, but I think there's something truth to the billionaire beef. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk seem to have beef. Elon Musk announces Starlink. He wants to put satellites in the sky and deliver us internet. Next thing you know, Jeff Bezos' space company Blue Origin announces they want to do low Earth orbit satellites to deliver internet. I mean, these guys can't copy each other fast enough. And I think that Jeff Bezos would love to own an electric vehicle company that competes with Tesla, that has a potential to, really give them a run for their money. And so I think that's what Amazon's play is here, is they want to make a hardware push into vehicles, get into the electric truck game and last mile delivery game, and build a vehicle on top of Rivian's skateboard. And they want to own that luxury consumer first brand, which is Rivian. To me, it makes sense that Amazon acquires Rivian outright. If you can, Amazon could easily write a check for 10 or $20 billion, acquire all of Rivian. I mean, Rivian's already probably too expensive for Ford or GM to acquire. Amazon could write this check. There is a huge disruption occurring in the, transportation space. We're moving to electric. If you believe in that, there's going to be huge companies built on top of this shift. It looks like Rivian's going to be one of them. And the last straw I wanted to tie into this is that Amazon has also made a huge multi-hundred million investment, it looks like, into something called Aurora. Aurora is also a self-driving startup. And so I think Amazon and Jeff Bezos are laying the puzzle pieces to build their own electric autonomous delivery and logistics network. And that is why I believe Amazon should and will acquire Rivian for about $5 to $10 billion. That'll be the electric skateboard platform and actually hardware for this infrastructure play they want to make. And then Aurora, the self-driving technology, is what they can put on that electric skateboard, and then all of a sudden you have an electric autonomous delivery vehicle, and that is the backbone of Amazon's new 2.0 logistics infrastructure. And the last thing I want to note here, as a Tesla shareholder, and I know a lot of you watching maybe are Tesla investors as well, is this makes me so excited to me. Rivian, to me, you could say it's a Tesla competitor, it's a rival, but really what gets me pumped about Rivian is that they are validating Elon Musk's theory, what they've been saying. Elon Musk has been pounding the table that electric vehicles are the future for so long. Nobody has given in, nobody believes him, and now we're seeing Rivian start up, and I think part of the reason is the timing of Rivian is so sweet. Tesla's validated that electric vehicles are the future. Every other automaker went from denying that to copying Tesla as fast as possible. Rivian's already had a decade ahead of copying Tesla. So that's why, Ford is like, crap, we need to put money somewhere into electric vehicles. Let's just write Rivian a check. And they're so desperate that they're putting hundreds of millions of dollars in at a probably absurd valuation just to get a piece of the company that is number 2 to Tesla. So what does that say about the value of Tesla, the strategic positioning of Tesla? I'm saying like, oh, if all these puzzle pieces add up, Amazon's capital, Rivian's skateboard, Aurora's self-driving tech, maybe if that can all come together in the perfect sweet spot of technology, they might finally be able to compete with Tesla's technology stack. So I think, as someone who's a tree hugger and just electric vehicle enthusiast, I love what Rivian's doing. I would love Rivian's like the only other EV, Tesla, Arcimoto, and Rivian. Like, that's what I want in my garage. I want the Rivian pickup truck for like my off-roading badass stuff. Maybe the Tesla pickup truck will take that out, so this could change. But then I want my Tesla Roadster. Of course, you got to have the Roadster, like baller car for going out and such. And then you got to have your Arcimoto for going around town, looking cool, a little more fun. But anyway, that's my trifecta of dream electric vehicles to own. A little bit sidetracked, but the point being is Rivian's success and watching Amazon pour $700 million, watching Ford pour $500 million, watching GM try and get involved. I mean, this validates how big the opportunity is in front of Tesla and how desperate its competition is to get a piece of that action of the future they know is coming. So I think that's the real story behind the scenes here with Rivian, is that it's validating the huge potential that Tesla has. Anyway, this is Hyperchange. Would love to know what you think in the comments below. What do you think of Rivian? Have you been following this story? Do you think Amazon should acquire them? Let me know below. Anyway, this is Hyperchange. Amazon should acquire Rivian. Moonshot Monday. See you guys next time. Peace.